Okay, and hello and welcome to Sanctuary of Joy. I'm your angelic practitioner guide, Janette Stuart of Angel Angles and Wellbeing and Wonder. And today is April 8th, 2023, and we're going to be talking about angels, angels, angels everywhere. So, welcome, come on in. If you are listening to the recording, you're in this beautiful angelic energy with us. And today is the day before Easter. Just a great day to talk about angels. And I was showing before everyone came in, I was showing my little opalite angel. It's a crystal, and Joy gave it to me a few years ago, and it wanted to come into our session today with us. So it's here, angels, angels everywhere. So welcome, come on in, make yourself comfortable. And today we'll talk a little bit about how angel history, how I began working with the angels, signs of angels, presence, the way we may hear, feel, see, be reminded of the angel's presence, and we'll have an interactive discussion. So, thank you so much for coming today. And if you're listening to the recording, thank you for being here as well. And so, I just want to take a few minutes to share about my story, how I began working with the angels. And it started in 2012. My brother and I were a year and a half apart. And I always was the big sister and took care of him. I spoke for him the first few years of his life, and he pretty much just followed me everywhere and did whatever I wanted him to do. So we were really close. And in 2012, he began showing some signs of decline. And it became apparent that we were on a family vacation. And it became apparent that he was having um, like cognitive difficulties and physical difficulties. And I thought it was just because he was going to be starting a new job when we got back and he was like super stressed out about it. But it wasn't that. He had a brain tumor and he went from being able to walk 5 miles a day on our vacation to not being able to walk at all within a short period of time. And it was very devastating. I grew up in the church and I had heard about angels, but it was more of a historic perspective, like, okay, maybe angels appear to Mary or some saint. If I was, um, a holy person, maybe they would appear to me. And I found I was struggling during that time, um, trying to grasp why this was happening to my brother, the impact that it had on my family. And I found a woman on Facebook, Laurel Bleeden Maffei of Illuminating Souls, and her words were a healing balm to me. This was back when Facebook was just words. And so Laurel's words were like pure love from the angels, and they surrounded me and um, kept me going. And Laurel became my teacher and mentor, and her words kept me from losing my faith, from being despondent. And after my brother had passed away, I does anyone know who ED is? Mm. I'm not sure who ED is. Um, just a moment. Um, so anyway, back to my story. Um, I was grieving for about a year and I was following Laurel on Facebook and thought, it was very intriguing. I wanted to learn more about the angels. I was reading um, every book I could find about the angels. I think I read everything Doreen Virtue ever wrote. And it was just such a healing time for me. And I thought, oh, okay, I'm ready to have an angel session. And I didn't know what it was. I didn't know if I'd start seeing dead people. I didn't know if I was going to lose my faith. I just didn't know what to expect, but I was being led to have an angel reading with Laurel. And I did. And it was very healing, very soothing. It gave me so much comfort and hope for the future. And I just really felt held, supported, loved by the angels. And within 6 months of having that, I was looking to how can I do this to bless others? Because it was so transformative in my life. Um, so that's my story of how I began working with the angels. And then um, I learned how to do angel card readings. And the first deck that I learned with was Doreen Virtue's Healing with the Angels. And this morning I was guided to draw a card. And it was divine guidance that you're being divinely guided. And again, that's I'm paying attention to the signs, looking for ways, looking for miracles in our midst. And so today, I wanted to have an interactive discussion about what are some ways that you might have had experiences with the angels, or maybe you haven't. Maybe you have a question. Um, what are some of the signs that you see repeatedly? So we'll go ahead and open the room. Anyone have any questions before we jump in? If you'd like, you could come off mute and just ask, raise your hand, whatever you'd like. Okay, looks like we're good to move forward. So some of the signs of angelic presence can be things in nature. Sometimes people see feathers or coins or birds, dragonflies, butterflies. Sometimes you hear something and you just know, okay, that's a bird. That reminds me of my dad, my mother, and you just know that there's something extraordinary about that experience. Has that ever happened to anyone? If you'd like to share, we're open to it. Joy.
For my birthday, my brother and my sister-in-law treated me to a trip to Yosemite. And it was after my husband had passed. So I was probably about 50, I guess it was. And we decided we were going to rent bikes and ride around Yosemite. Not being as fit as I should be, I was riding the bike and we had stopped to put our feet in the water. And we were sitting on a rock, and I had a monarch butterfly come over and land on my hand. And it stayed with me for the next 30 minutes or more as I was riding. Even when I was riding on the bike and the wind was coming, it just stuck on my hand. And I just had I don't know, the feeling that my husband was there trying to let me know that he was with me. So it stayed on my hand until I went into a store and I came out and I was afraid that it was going to be uncomfortable. So I kind of sent the message to it that it's okay to go now. Thank you for your visit. And then it finally took off. But it was just the most, I don't know, wonderful feeling and elation and surprise and shock. I mean, all sorts of funny feelings that were coming out, but it's a
Beautiful,
memorable one.
beautiful. Um, yeah, a lot of times butterflies or dragonflies, hummingbirds, things like that are signs of love from above.
Mhm.
Anybody else want to share anything? Barb, are you coming off mute?
Yeah,
There
I'm
you
coming off mute now.
okay, there you are.
Well, as you know, Janette, I've had a little bit of stuff going on, but I think the one that I want to talk about, the incident that I had was several years ago. I well, I had surgery on my rotator cuff, and so I had a sling, and then I was also on oxygen. And I think at that time I was going, I can't even remember, but it was at night and I was trying to get into my pajamas and I was so exhausted. Just the logistics of the oxygen and the sling and how to do all of it. And I just was like, oh my gosh, I just can't do this. And then it was like clear as a bell. I heard a voice that said, the fact that you are being challenged does not mean you are not being loved.
What a
And
message.
and that was just kind of like, oh, okay, I got this. I can do this. And yeah, that I've never had anything like that before or since, but I have that written down and I try to every once in a while remember that, because I have been extremely challenged. And so I don't know, that was a message that I got.
Wow. And that's an example of clairaudience, like hearing the messages of the angels and being reassured that just because things are difficult or you're going through challenges does not mean you're being loved. And that's one thing with the angels I find for me, their messages are very loving, yes, and very direct. They're not wordy like me going on and on and on. And that is a really great experience. I have a girlfriend that has had some experiences like that, the clairaudience, that my husband all of a sudden had a heart incident, and I didn't tell her. And we were at a hospital near a church that has three crosses, huge crosses. And she was driving to work and she saw those crosses and she heard my name, first name and last name, and she knew something was going on. So she reached out to my sister, but she paid attention. Like she knew, okay, something's going on with Janette or her family, and I'm going to investigate what that was. And it was that my husband was having um, a heart incident, and that led to eventually getting a mitral valve replacement. But at that time, we didn't know if he was going to live or not, what was going on. So that was an
Wow.
example of hearing the messages. That's clear audience. And sometimes you can hear those messages, but it's not coming through your ear. It's coming through like your wisdom, like you're knowing it
Hmm.
as well. Um, and sometimes people are clear sentient, which is usually my way, and that's feeling. Like I can feel the angels. I get angel bumps. I feel a sense of love or a little coolness, a little warmness, some sort of sensation like that. So that's my
Well, I was definitely feeling things before my accident yesterday. You know,
yeah.
I
Did you want to share a little bit about that, Barb?
oh sure.
And we can congratulate the angels with you.
Yeah. Well, I was just I had a lot of different stops to make yesterday and I had my day all planned out. And I was like, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna get this done, then and everything was going as planned. And my hope was that I would get home, get a little bit of rest and then be able to go take a walk because it's starting to get nice out here. And but I was driving down the highway and I was at the stoplights, and I was in the turn lane, and I had the green arrow to turn, and I turned, and a guy came right through with his truck and T-boned me. And I saw it. I had it is just like they say, and this is the second time this has happened to me. But your instinct is all of a sudden you're just like, you're gonna hit me, and then it's kind of like it slows down and boom, and you have just a few seconds of just like you're just shaken up, and then you come kind of back into what just transpired, and you're like, yeah, I just got hit. But again, I'm okay. He's okay. The vehicles, it's not a good time. It's really, really not a good time. Because I have appointments. My husband's going through radiation. Um, so, but we'll get it all figured out. And
Yeah,
I'm
so
just,
this just happened to Barbara yesterday, and she posted about it. And here you are talking about the angels and being protected, and that sense of time, like you were in a time warp or whatever that was, of knowing like I'm going to get hit, but then, oh, okay, I'm okay. He's okay. My vehicle's not okay, but that's fixable. So, wow. We're so
well, and
glad you're
then,
here today.
yeah. And then, if you read my added little part, I mean, this man was just a very, very fragile individual. He was just just very, like I say, emotionally fragile, and um very traumatized by what had happened. And I just I just stayed calm. I just paused and stayed very calm and steady. And I mean, he was like, "What do we do? I don't know what we do. Do we, And I was just kind of like, "Oh, I just kind of did what I thought I was supposed to do, and called the highway patrol and waited, and they came. And um, so I I give myself props for being able to just stay calm and
Mhm.
steady, and offer this guy some comfort because he was really a wreck and I wasn't.
No pun
So
intended. Um,
yeah, yeah, exactly,
well,
exactly.
of all
So
the people that he could have T-boned, he chose you, and you were able to be an angel to him, even during those circumstances. So
well,
awesome.
I figured there's enough, meanness going around. I don't have time to be mean to people. I tried really hard not to be angry because it doesn't get you anywhere, you
Mhm.
know, and it hurts the other person. Why would you want to do that?
Yeah, yeah.
So I
Wow.
get a gold star for how I behave.
Yes, you were a good one. Yes. And Jenny put some praying hands in the comments here too in the chat. So hi, Cheryl Ann. Glad you're able to join us. So anyone else have uh, an experience or signs that they see, feel, hear? Mona, are you raising your hand?
Yes, I think I told you one time with my experience. Um, my son got hit by the train when he was 2.5, and we we were out looking for him before uh, he got hit by the train because he was in the house with everybody else because we all knew the train was coming, and we counted the heads, and there was one missing. It was Michael. Anyway, so we found him. He had been hit he was bounced off the train. He didn't get hit by the train, else he still wouldn't be here. Anyway, we picked him up and took him down to our car, and it was like one of those movies where everything stops and everything was just stopped, and I inside heard a voice say, "He's going to be all right, but it's going to take a long time." And like Barb just said, I was very calm. The voice made me feel very calm because I believed whatever that voice said, that he was going to be all right. And it did take a long time because till he was 18, he had to go to Halifax for many surgeries and treatments. And but anyway, he's going to be 50 this year. He has a partner. He can drive a car, although he's hemiplegic. One side is smaller than the other, and it doesn't work like the other side. He has a 10-inch lift on the shoe to balance his body. But he has a job at the Calgary airport, and he's doing very well for himself. So that inner voice, which surprised me because it wasn't male or female, and I never heard a voice like that before. And that anyway kept me going through all the times afterwards.
Such a powerful story, Mona, that here your baby was hit by a train and you were able to remain calm. Powerful.
Yeah, thank you to the voice.
Yes, yeah. That is just amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that total miracle with us here today. And that voice, that you were able to remain calm and knew, okay, I'm going to trust this voice. Awesome.
Yeah. And her being calm probably helped her little one stay calm too, because that means a lot. When they see that mom's okay, that means I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
He wasn't okay. He was vomiting and bleeding, and thank God I took a first aid course, so we had to drive him to the hospital ourselves. So that was he was totally unconscious, and but anyway, it was an ordeal. Thankfully, it's over and gone.
Yes, a total miracle. Wow. Anyone else have any questions for Mona or wanted to share something?
I would like to confess that I mostly think about the angels when things go wrong, like when I need help or things are too overwhelming and I don't know what to do. That's my relationship with it. Every now and then I'll, say thank you and acknowledge, blessings and things. But most of the time, especially like, with my surgery and stuff, it's when I'm at my breaking point.
And how wonderful that they're there for us. They're not like, well, who are you? You're just reaching out to me when things are tough, but that's our human nature, right? That, we tend to, when things are going okay, not always think about them, but, as your practice of gratitude and appreciation, that's another way of honoring that spirit as well, Becky. So, Joy.
One of the things that I'd like to share is every time I hear a siren, whether it's a fire engine or a police car or paramedics, I send angels with them. So that, one, I'm hoping that they stay protected on their way there. And two, that whoever they're going to help, that the angels are there to comfort them or help them in any way possible. But I do like a visual, almost like a visual where I can see the angel with the wings going right with that siren, and they're there to be able to help. So maybe if we all do that more, maybe that'll help us. I don't know, just to share.
Yeah, I really love that. That is a great proactive thing, instead of thinking, oh gosh, here goes the sirens again, that we can shift and say, okay, the angels are on the way.
Am I muted or not muted?
No, we hear you, Barb.
Okay, because I'm confused with all of this.
It's
But
okay.
Joy, you telling that story made me think of my mother, and she's been gone for quite some time. But even when we were little, anytime we would hear an ambulance, my mom would say a prayer.
Yeah.
And that has stuck with me all my life. And sometimes I think, what would I do if I lived in New York City, where that's all that you hear, but yeah, so whenever I hear and I've always told my kids that whenever you hear an ambulance, send out a prayer, so.
Yeah, I have a fire station that's not far down the street from me, so they always go flying up my road. So I do
Sure.
say it quite a bit, but again, I just figured, well, that's my role here. That's why I
Right.
am where I am, because they need that,
Right, you offer it up. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Mona, I loved your story too about your son and how he survived. I mean, that's truly a miracle too.
Yeah, it is. The doctors all said that, yeah, that he survived it.
Yeah,
The week in the hospital was a miracle.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And I'm so glad we can come together and talk about these instances, these miracles, these feelings, these sights, these sounds, these smells. I have a friend that occasionally will smell the scent of her grandmother's perfume, and she knows that her grandma is helping her from the other side. So that's that clear, whatever that olfactory sense is. So awesome. Anybody else have anything they wanted to share or a question they wanted to ask? You can go ahead and unmute if you'd like. Mona.
That was 1976, and I never told a soul that I heard a voice that said he's going to get better, because back then you'd be labeled, something wrong with her. But it's okay now, because it's a common thing, more common, I should say, than back then.
Sure.
Sometimes it's hesitant to say that.
Yeah. I think a lot of times, like shows like Touched by an Angel. Was that the one? Was Della Reese in that one also?
Yeah.
Okay. So that was the same show I was thinking of. That that helps kind of normalize some of the things that go on. I know when my grandmother's sister was passing away, she had some loved ones at her bedside, and she had been out of it for several days, and she ended up calling out my grandma, who had passed away a few years earlier. She called her by her nickname, and she said, Chig, that was her nickname, Chig, get off the bed. And then so all of her loved ones around her knew that she saw on the other side that she was being welcomed with love and open arms and excitement, that she was being ready to cross over, and that her sister was there on the bed, but she told her to get off the bed, just like sisters did back and forth. They were kind of squabbling often together. So that was fun. Anyone else have anything to share?
Just doing a little show and tell, if that's okay.
Okay, great.
I did a few weeks ago. I did what's known as the Moonai Key rites. I don't know whether anybody has ever heard of it, but it's a bit like Peruvian Reiki, basically. And I've never managed to experience anything really relating to angels at all, which has been a bit frustrating. But I got this kind of instruction kind of thing to go off and get a piece of moss agate, which is let me pop my camera on. I'm having to move around a bit, but yeah, to go off and get this
Oh,
big
wow.
gemstone. There happened to be I went on eBay just to find something, and this for some reason was the only one they had on sale, so I got it like half price. As I was looking for that, forgive me just one moment.
Sure. We
I can't
like
believe
show
what
and
I'm about
tell.
to
This
show
is
you.
great.
I can't believe what I'm about to show you, but this was listed. I'm just gonna try and lift this up.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness.
Wow.
Wow.
That's beautiful.
It was just an absolute bargain, and I've not bought a gemstone in I couldn't even tell you 10 years. And yeah, that just absolutely incredible bargain.
That is
I can't even hold it up.
Now,
right. It
what
looks
kind
like
of
a
stone is
bowling
that?
ball. It's
It's
so
orange
giant.
calcite. It's
Calcite. Okay, it's
Calcite.
beautiful.
But yeah,
Wow.
I just I felt like I was sort of directed to it. I'd never seen anything like it. I'm gonna have to put it down. So excuse me a minute.
Right. We don't want you to drop it on your toe. Well,
It has
and
to sit on the floor because it feels like it was I felt like that was the first time I'd ever really had a sort of like a sign. And as I'm here, I'm going to ask whether you think that is the case and what it might mean.
well, there's lots of energy in crystals, right? And Joy is going to go get something. I think she's our resident crystal expert here. So yeah, I think definitely. Okay, Joy's got her crystal book. She's going to give you an answer about the calcite. Was it calcite?
It's
Yes.
calcite, yeah.
Calcite.
Okay. Golden calcite 104.
Oh, I forgot to mention, sorry, the moss agate. I didn't even get to the point of the story. It turns out to apparently be the stone of my guardian angel for my birthday, which I didn't know anything about it, but apparently there's is this right that like every 4 days there's a different guardian angel for when people were born, and apparently that is it, which took me back a lot because I'd never even thought about it. So
Well, they say that we each have at least 2 guardian angels that are with us our entire life, and that we have spirit guides and helpers. Sometimes we have people on this side that are angels to us. And I think we have experiences that have happened where we just say, oh, that had to be been an angel. Or like Barb yesterday being in an accident, being hit in her car, and then being an angel to the gentleman that hit her because he needed an angel, and Barb was that angel.
Well,
Okay,
this
Joy.
is the card that I pulled yesterday.
And what is it?
Spiritual growth.
Wow.
And I pulled it again today. So
Wow. You're on the path. You're on the path, Barb.
Yep.
You're on the path.
Yep.
zoom.
Yep. Here we go. Here we go. Awesome.
Okay, so
First I gotta get a car though.
don't
Right.
worry. The angels are working on it, Barb. They're working on it.
Good. Let's see, what kind do I want now?
So golden calcite means shine the light on me. The affirmation is, it is safe for me to shine my light brightly. I am self-confident. I recognize my self-worth. It is easy for me to set boundaries. I stay focused on the good things, good in all things. My internal brilliance shines, and I have courage to be all I can be. The spiritual uses is golden calcite is a great tool for shamanic journey work, helping you access new and different realities. The stone serves as a portal through which unusual spiritual truths are revealed, resulting in new realizations and perspectives. With this stone in hand, taking a different path often leads to deeper meditative experiences as well as more aha realizations. Use golden calcite to connect with archangels Amiel, Jophiel, and Metatron.
How's that for a message, Jenny?
Thank you. That's great.
So the book I have is called Essential Guide to Crystals, Minerals, and Stones. I got it on Amazon, and it has a chapter that talks about the golden calcite.
So what's it called again? Essential Guide?
It's the essential guide to crystals, minerals, and stones.
And who's the author, Julie?
The author is Margaret Ann Lembo. She's also the author of Chakra Awakening.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that. And
Yeah.
Jenny, the size of that crystal,
Yeah.
that like blew my mind. It's like, okay, so a little crystal, but you have this giant crystal. So
Yeah.
it feels like the angels are saying that you have this big, beautiful energy. And they're just waiting for you and applauding you every time you shine your light. Like here, you're shining your light.
And it looks like a big sun, doesn't it?
It does. It felt like I bought the sun. That's
Big
exactly what I
sun. So
said when
that's
it came.
even more of an indication to you to shine your light, get out there
Yeah.
and let it glow.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And it can be in tiny ways, just, just to be the Jenniest Jenny that you can be. That's what we're here for, right? Because we came here for a specific purpose. Sometimes it takes us a long time to figure out what that is and how we make that happen. But Jenny, it just feels magical. And it's so cool because I was thinking our next Sanctuary of Joy is going to be in September. I'm traveling next month and then taking the summer off. So, but we're going to be talking about energy and crystal energy, angelic energy, plant energy, all the different kinds of energy. So that will be a cool discussion. But yeah, I hope that answered a little bit of your question today. Because you could have an affinity with crystals, not necessarily angels. Not everybody has a huge affinity with the angels. Like Becky, when you talked about it, I was thinking, well, that's because you have more of a connection to earth energy and the natural world. You are grounded here in the earth. So it's not unusual that you're not always in step with the angels or feel in step. So wonder if that helps.
I think Becky's angelic senses come through her creativity. She has such phenomenal ways of creating beauty and ideas and games. And I mean, that's the angels whispering in her ear, hey, how about this? Or hey, but she doesn't really realize it because it's just like it's an instant and it's something that she's been used to all of her life.
Yeah. Yep. Becky, since you're on mute, I'll share your story, if you don't mind, of what do you want to be when you grow up? And you told the teacher what you wanted to be. Do you want me to share that, or is that a tease and you'll share? I can share? Okay. So this was in grade school, and Becky said, I want to be a party planner because Becky throws the best parties, like creative ways of doing things, having the best parties ever. Mermaid parties before they were even a thing, all kinds of. If you want to have a party, Becky is going to be the person to organize that. And her teacher shamed her. That is stupid. Nobody's a party planner. Nobody does that for a living. And so, at that point, you're afraid to open your mouth and share, like, oh, I have dumb ideas or something. So, Becky likes to be talk about her being the party planner extraordinaire. So
That just reemphasized the fact that I don't care what you say, I'm going to do it anyway.
yeah, but it often takes us a while to get there, right?
Yes.
To be strong enough in our sense of personal power that we are okay to shine our light the way we came here to do.
Yeah, I was told I was never going to be good in math, and I did math for the bulk of my career, so it just funny
Yeah.
how things work out that way.
And isn't it funny that we
Mhm.
pay so much attention to one person's opinion
Mhm.
when, when you can prepare these great budgets and spreadsheets and things, and it's hard to let that one voice go because it is so impactful for us. I was told I was very proud of a drawing in kindergarten. I drew a termite. I'd never seen a termite, but the pastor had talked about it the day before. And so I drew it in school, and my kindergarten teacher said, "That's not a termite. Termites don't look like that," and just shamed me for my vision of a termite. So I was very reluctant to even, show my so-called artwork to the world. So
Yep.
anybody else have anything to share? Questions, comments? Gwen,
Oh, good.
you'll have to unmute.
Yeah.
There you are.
I just wanted to advise that the crystal should not be in direct sunlight. It'll lose its color.
Okay, very
So,
good.
in a space with a light behind it or whatever, it's just that the chances of losing color are really up there.
Okay. And does that apply to all crystals or the specific?
A lot of them. Your
Okay,
amethysts, especially, you don't know if it's been heat treated or whatever. You don't know exactly what it is, but
right.
most of the crystals, if they have color, do better out of the light.
Okay. Okay.
And they just have a tendency to lose color, and some specifically.
Okay. Well, thank you for that tip. That's good to know. And I know that certain crystals are affected by water as well, that can start disintegrating them as well.
Right.
So
Yeah, and
thank
calcite is a softer crystal, so it probably should, be in a special place.
yeah, I think that that crystal is probably the biggest one I ever saw. And Jenny, do you currently have it in a place that it's not? And she said at the moment it's on the floor because it's so heavy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's great. Probably a spot where it's not going to get direct sunlight would be great. So thank you for sharing that, Gwen. We're glad you're here today. You
Yeah,
have
well, we
anything
have
else? Anything else you
if
wanted?
if you're in my area, the psychic fair is going on for today and tomorrow
Oh, okay. And you're
in Nevada City.
Nevada City. Okay, that's in
California.
California, folks, for you in the Gold Rush area outside of Sacramento.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Okay.
Anybody else have anything, questions, comments, stories they wanted to share? I'm going
Just a reminder that, like you said, we all have guardian angels, and if we can, there. I remember Lorna Byrne, who is on Facebook, always says they're kind of sitting around waiting for you to ask them. Don't be afraid to ask them. They want to help. They want to make your life easier. So,
right.
it's just like me when I'm trying to get something undone or something screwed in. I just go, angels, can you help me here? It's just gotta ask them. So
That's a good reminder. And yes, that's the thing that angels need to be asked, unless it's like a life or death situation. Like Mona didn't ask for the angels to help Michael when the train was coming because she didn't know. Just all of a sudden, oh, Michael's missing. And the angels intervened so that he was not directly hit by the train. But the angels do need to be asked to offer their assistance, and that's their mission in their realm to help us during this lifetime. So thank you for that, Joy. I drew an angel card for us too.
Oh,
So the angel card for today is playfulness. So the angels are inviting us to let loose with our beautiful energy, our childlike sense of wonder and delight and curiosity, and to be more playful and to let it be fun. Let joy be our guide. So, how's that for an angel message for today?
you can hop around like bunnies.
Yeah. Anybody else have anything to share? Cheryl Ann is not able to come on speaker, but she says she's never been able to find her guardian angel's name. She doesn't get when she asks. And I've heard that that has happened to a lot of people, Cheryl Ann, because the angels don't really have a name, they have an energy associated with them. And the one way I like to think about that is that you might not know their name, but they know your name and they love you. Whether you know their name or not, you can know the essence that I am divinely guided, supported, and protected every step of the way. And Barb says the same thing. And I I'm kind of like True Confessions with Becky. Sometimes I know the angels are there and I like think about them. I mean, I have a lot of angels decor in my house and a million angel card decks. Um, and I feel like they're part of my daily life, but it's a different sense. It's not like I'm calling up my sister and texting her, oh, this happened, that happened. You know, it's a different relationship. Um, so, and it's okay. And sometimes it changes during different circumstances in life, where I need the divine, like when my brother was ill, that was really an intense time of needing angels guidance every hour of every day. So I hope that helps. Anybody else have anything to share? Okay, well, thank you so much for being here. It really means a lot that we can come together in the sanctuary of joy and have these great discussions. It's a safe place for us to come and bare our souls with like-minded people and sharing your stories of pain, of sorrow, of miracles, of goodness. And Jenny says she can't wait till September's session. Yes, so it's going to be, and I'm kind of crazy about angel numbers. It's 9/9. So second Saturday of the month is a Sanctuary of Joy on 9/9, same time, same bat time, same bat channel. So looking forward to it very much. So thank you so much, friends. Have a great rest of your
Thank you,
weekend.
Janette.
Love
Thank
you
you.
all.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Love you.